It's weird when I see people that I used to use with around town or just around where we live. And it's always like, sometimes I don't even recognize them. They look terrible.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, oh my goodness, you need a cheeseburger. And a nap.
Yeah.
I don't know. That to me is a really good deterrent when I see people out and about still chasing the dream. It's like, I don't want to look like you, smell like you. I don't want to walk like you, talk like you, all the way to jail.
Yeah.
Or the grave or wherever they're going to end up. But damn, I don't need that. And then there are people that we're associated with that are the walking billboard of why you should never do drugs. I guess they asked Ozzy Osbourne's daughter that one time when she dyed her hair purple. Do you do drugs like your dad? She said, no, my dad's a walking billboard for why you don't do drugs.
That's it. And you could ask him, but you wouldn't understand what he said. So
Yeah, right? You wouldn't know.
We're in Wisconsin at my sister and brother-in-law's farm. We're all set up in a tent, and we're going to interview people from our tent or yurt.
Yurts are round.
Since this is audio only, you don't know that it's not a round yurt. It's a tent. So we're interviewing people from the yurt, live from the yurt.
I don't know a yurt.
You're crushing my dreams.
Sorry. Okay.
I have yurt dreams.
Focus on the yurt.
This is focus.
Close your eyes and focus on the yurt.
Okay.
We could live in a yurt in your sister's backyard for 6 months out of the year.
She might have something to say about that.
She won't know.
Why do we have these smelly vagrants living in the backyard talking about drugs all the time?
Surprise! Yeah. We're here.
Yeah. So the plan is to make some trips and talk to some people. I have friends here involved in ministry, including to people in recovery. Most churches I know, whether they admit it or not, are filled with people in recovery of one kind or another. You know, I was thinking about the word recovery means to restore, to heal back to a certain place, a certain state. Most of the people who I know, including myself, who undergo that process, they didn't need to go back to a certain place and a certain time and a certain stage of development. They need to move forward from wherever. And of course, so many people are just broken and damaged in the process of growing up that to restore them to any place in their past doesn't help.
No. You have to move forward. You have to take everything as a life lesson, learn what you can from it, and move on. That's how I dealt with my second divorce. That's how I dealt with both my divorces. But the second one was
what about the 14th
difficult.
and 15th
You know
divorce?
what? You need to stop. I've been married a couple of times.
You can't get along with anybody.
Oh, now we're going to fight.
Oh. And then your third divorce.
Right? No, I'm not talking about that.
And that's how the fight started.
Right? It was tumultuous and difficult. As it turns out, were a lot of the relationships in my ex-husband's life tumultuous and difficult. And he was really enthusiastic about his feelings all the time. It was difficult, and in the end, it was difficult. It was a heartbreaking divorce. It was hard. The marriage was hard. In the end, I just couldn't carry any pain with me like that, and I told him that. Right when we got divorced, I went to him and said, I need to tell you something. I forgive you, and I forgive me for every screwed up thing that happened in our marriage. But I want to thank you for the whole experience, because I learned so much, and I would not be who I am today without that experience, and I'm really grateful for the experience. And by finding the gratitude in the actual experience for everything that it was and everything that it wasn't, I am a better person, and I believe a better wife because of it. That whole experience was something that really needed to happen, because when I look back on it, I was kind of an asshole before that.
Yeah, I've heard you tell your stories.
All needed to happen for various reasons, but I'm grateful for the experience. And then I learned from that to be grateful for every experience. and to learn from every experience, good, bad, or otherwise, whatever it is. Find what you can learn from it and move on. And don't make whatever mistakes that were among... If you find mistakes in there, don't do that again. But learn from whatever happened. However it molds you or changes you moving forward, roll with that. Remember the lesson, because otherwise you just keep making the same mistake and it just keeps perpetuating. You'll just keep getting the same lesson over and over and over again until...
If you keep doing what you did.
Yeah, until one day you're going to understand, I guess, or you're not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I learned some magical things from my first marriage that I think has made me a better husband for you. I learned to say yes, dear.
You did.
Yeah.
You did, and you're so good at it, and I appreciate that so much.
That's my go-to move.
Yep.
Even if I wasn't listening and had no idea what you said.
But the truth of the matter is that you're just a very different person than my last husband, and I'm a very different person than your last wife.
Oh, yeah.
And I still firmly, staunchly believe in my heart of hearts that some personalities should just never collide. And I still believe that. It just didn't work out for those other people and you and I. But this is way different, and hopefully they did find somebody with a personality that helps them collide better. Well, my ex-husband unfortunately passed away, but...
Yeah. And actually, my ex, as near as I can tell, she's got a good life. I mean, she's gone through her hardships like everyone. Her picker wasn't broke the second time, because he's a great guy.
Right.
Hell, I'd marry him.
Right, that's nice.
Yeah, it's legal now, too.
You're a great guy, too, but, yeah. But like I said, I still think that some personalities should collide. Yeah. And you guys were young. And I think there's a lot to be said when you start out young like that. I mean, I married my first husband young as well. That lasted a year.
Yeah, that one almost doesn't count.
That one really doesn't.
If it weren't for the kids, you wouldn't even remember that it happened.
I would, right. Yeah. It was like a leap in time, kind of. Yeah, that's what I think about that. About recovering and going back to any space you were before. Learn from it and move on. That's the only thing you can do. Learn from every transgression, every situation. What was your part in it? Forgive yourself for that and move on. Because if you can't forgive yourself and everybody else involved in every situation, then you're just going to be stuck in bitterness and pain, and then you're just going to live there, and ain't nobody got time for that.
Right. Yeah. 7 years ago, thinking about it, about 20 years ago, I was in a band called Fish and Musicians. We were just a fun band, but a terrible name. After we had been Fish and Musicians for a few years, we decided, you know what, this name's got to go. For months, we tried to come up with a new name. No one could agree on it, and people were just sick to death of even talking about it. And in the meantime, we were gigging all the time as Fish and Musicians. We decided we were going to have a meeting, I think it was a Saturday night or something, at my house. And all the band members got there, and one of the band members' wives was there. And we decided no one gets out of this house alive until we have a new name. It went on for about an hour and a half, and nobody's heart was in it. Went back into the kitchen to get some coffee, and I came back out, and I had been having dreams about the number 8. I just kept seeing the number 8 in these dreams. And I walked back into the living room where everyone was at and just mumbled number 8. I wasn't thinking about what we were doing, but immediately one of the band members said the number of new beginnings, which is what we're doing. We're starting over. Another band member said, that's it. It's great. Let's go home. We're done. That's the name. That's our name now. For the next few years, that's what we were called. We were called number 8. When I put the graphic together for the very first YouTube video for New Beginnings, I included the number 8 in the background because it's the number of new beginnings. And now we just include it on everything. Maybe those dreams weren't so much about that band. Maybe those dreams were a future for me. And this is long before I met you. New beginnings seems to me to be a better thing than recovery. Because being restored back to a certain version of you isn't really what any of us need. What we need is better. What we need is healthier. What we need is stronger. What we need is more energized, more passionate. For all of us. New beginnings.
I like it.
We are Mark and Micquette, and we are all just walking each other home.